Hey guys, Wolfie here with a follow-up to the last video. This is for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global for the 14th of April 2020. Like I said, this is a follow-up because there is information from JP on the JP side of things. Now we got some information for potential delays on Global. Now, some people mentioned in the comment section to Jet Stinger's video on the situation for JP. The link to his video is in the last one, so I'm not going to repeat the same link here there because I do have to get ready for work, so that's that on that. But we do have a update on the global end. Now, before we get into that, we're going to go into an issue that has been confirmed, and it does involve Beatrix. So it says here, known issues updated on 14th April. Beatrix's turn order not behaving as expected under circumstances after St. Cloth is used. St. Cloth is Beatrix's skill 1. So with that out of the way, we're just going to jump into the important information regarding the current pandemic. Now, the whole thing with YouTube and Twitter, they have a tendency to not like certain words being used, which includes the current pandemic. So it says here, important information regarding the current pandemic. Thank you for playing Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In view of the ongoing global outbreak of the current pandemic, certain updates to the game may be affected. We are working hard to ensure that Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia will continue to operate and release content for you to enjoy in the foreseeable future. Content that has been announced for April will be released as planned. However, fixes to known issues and updates to the game may be delayed. Should the situation change, we will do our best to keep you informed. We are sorry for the inconvenience caused, and we hope that you continue to enjoy playing Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Now, what do I think of this announcement? Now, I have to be completely honest here, and this is not the world's best decision that Global is making right now. Now, the reason why it's not the world's best is because they may or may not know that JP is already delaying things, no questions asked. And by that, if we know all of that, then why isn't Global doing the same thing and sooner? Even with the stuff that's been announced. That's something that I personally do not and will not understand. So, some of the stuff that could be affected, believe it or not, include the May calendar. And some people know that in the May calendar, there is some degree of speculation of lost chapters, character events that could get delayed because of this. Now, if Global were to be seen in a better eye, they could have just said, we're going to release Act 2, Chapter 8, but everything else could get affected as well after that. And that would have been the better move, in my opinion, because that way Global does not get much of a chance or any chance to quote-unquote catch up with JP due to the serious nature of the current pandemic. Now, granted, Global does need some content, here and there to hopefully catch things up. Now, what people may not realize is that California is working with other governments to hopefully get things back up and running right around the 3rd of May when the extension to California's current lockdown is like to expire. Now, I will try my best to have a link regarding the whole thing with California working with Oregon and Washington in the description below. I cannot promise anything, but I know I have read it. And I do know that Los Angeles County, which is within the state of California, their lockdown is extended to the 15th of May. So it's one of those items where, again, honestly, if Global played it really smart, put their staff ahead of the prophets, they would have said, we're going to release Act 2, Chapter 8, as planned. Everything else gets delayed. Because after Fran's Lost Chapter, and after X-Death's global debut, you still have 5 characters who are without their 70/70 awakening. And one of those 5 is actually one of the first to get their character boards, which should be in the relatively near future. Now, one of the lost chapters could very well get affected, and oddly enough, it is Porum from Final Fantasy IV, which I believe she and Yang from Final Fantasy IV both get a rework. Yang gets his EX weapon debut in the EX Plus variant, alongside Porum's rework, and her EX weapon gets the Plus variant. So there is a lot at stake, and unfortunately, like I said, the 10th and final wave of 70/70 Awakenings, I do feel that Global made a pretty big mistake by not getting that one in within the April calendar. Because you have 5 characters who will be without their 70/70 Awakening should that get delayed. But it is what it is. I'm not angry. I'm not ticked off. I am disappointed that Global decided to make this announcement right now. That much I will say. So, with my final thoughts on this, with the full fact that not only content could get delayed, we also could see that the issues being fixed, that could get delayed as well. And due to the overall timing, we could see a drop in the player base. And timing has a lot more of an impact than people think. And Global is, in my opinion, clearly missing the mark. And this is even under circumstances beyond its control. And if I were part of the Global team, I would have probably suggested do release Act 2, Chapter 8, everything else gets delayed. But that's just my suggestion, and that's just my opinion. And on top of that, this is where I will be signing off for the day. I do have to get to work. The next video will be about Act 2, Chapter 8. I wanted it to separate this so that video doesn't get too long. So with that out of the way, I'll be out for now. With Wolvie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.